The world demands new elites. The issue of the overall majority of the modern countries is not lacking the national elite. It's lacking a real perspective of its formation. The age of colonialism, the failures of nation building and further globalization have led to the creation of the layer of compradors and oligarchs incapable to understand that power and sovereignty are above money, not vice versa. If all your wealth is defined by somebody else's debt securities, treasury obligations and records in different registers, this is nominal holding, which lasts until the moment the loyal policy is given up. The dismantling of the global world as a part of the global meltdown rises the significance of the issue of creation of national elites to the very top of the list. History and modern geopolitics have a lot of examples when independence obtained without any struggle, in a long-term perspectives, turned out to be horrible for both population and elites, since local elites usually turned out to be completely not ready to make any decisions and accept responsibility for them. As a result, they would just hang the questions, avoiding making a decision, selling their support and resources for promises and personal benefits, despite country future interests. For the past decades, the issue of infantilization of politicians and public officials have become quite serious. The new generation has already tasted all consequences of the education simplification. Accept the limitation does not mean readiness to step aside and let somebody else give it a go. It's the exact opposite. The formation of national elite may come only through the path of struggle, sharp changes, complete annihilation of the most elite systems, groups, and relationships. Calm and evolutionary transfer is a closed option for the overall majority of the countries. They require some harsh shaking, cleansing of 50% to 90% of the acting elites, depending on the country. What these countries need is not just a group of people who may say, "There is such a party, see, Vladimir Lenin," but who are also ready to accept responsibilities for the consequences, having and implementing ambitious, strong, and, to a great extent, opportunistic, but achievable strategy. This is not a simple path. It is full of self-imposed limits, repressions, cruelty, annihilated common social forms and institutions. Within the social sphere and internal environment, the discussion goes on the current meltdown, the annihilation of many basic principles, but the success in the future allows providing the melt-up. In order to implement such a scenario, the country requires a very tight group of passionaries as part of the counter-anti-elite, ready to act without fear and ready to answer for the consequences. Other important condition is lack of powerful external forces which will intervene with such a development. Presence of the inner resistance of the society and elites to the undergoing processes within the global meltdown will turn out to be completely secondary question. In the next 7 to 10 years, the number of revolutions, coups d'états, rebellions, and civil wars all around the globe will be quite high. In fact, it will lead to the rotation of the weak and mercenary people for even worse ones. And yeah, the situation will be different in the countries possessing some sort of subjectiveness and at least partly nationally oriented elite, since they will have a chance for evolutionary changes, but getting rid of all compradors and convergence is a must.